Hi, I'm Jacqui Jones from Net Concepts, and we're at SMX Sydney, and we have Rand Fishkin right here from SEOmoz.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me, Jacqui.
Welcome to Australia.
Thank you.
It's a bit bright, isn't it? It's very sunny. And
I think this is just about the best weather I have had at a conference. Maybe one of the best cities, too. It's incredible here.
that's a lovely thing to say. As I just mentioned, one of our analysts in our US office, she wanted to ask a question about the sluggishness of your website.
Yeah.
So what is the case?
So there's a few issues with SEOmoz. One is it was not built to handle the traffic that it gets right now. It just, it was architected for maybe a max of 10,000 visits a day, and it gets close to 15, 20,000 on a lot of days. The other thing is the tools slow it down heavily. So as the tools have gotten more popular, that's a ton of database requests, it's a ton of pulling data from other places, and it's also, we have the case, one of the biggest problems was, I think a couple weeks ago it was running super slow, and we were going, what the heck's going on? And we found this, some spammer in Singapore had signed up for a ton of accounts and was running 50 tools at a time. So we're constantly monitoring for that kind of thing. So November, we're switching to, we're going to co-locate hosting in New York and Seattle. We're going to have a new version of the site which runs a lot faster. Hopefully it'll get better.
Okay, so in the meantime, we'll just have to persevere.
Yeah, I would say visit it during non-slow hours. No, you shouldn't have to do anything. It's ridiculous to ask people to not come and visit. I mean, we're doing the best we can, and I do apologize for the sluggishness. I promise it's totally worth it, dude. Just, come on over.
Lovely. Another question I have is, how did you come up with the name SEOmoz? What does Moz actually mean?
So we stole it from the Mozilla Foundation and ChefMoz and DMoz and all of those sites. So they had this this philosophy that we just loved, which was of openness and of sharing and of a lot of robust free content. And we've always subscribed to that motto. So even though we have paid stuff kind of behind the pro membership, there is thousands and thousands of pieces of great free content on SEOmoz. There's a lot of stuff that users contribute themselves through Umoz, through the marketplace, all that kind of thing. So yeah, we took it from the kind of ethos of openness.
Awesome. So you've got a range of professional analytic tools available on SEOmoz. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about what they are?
Sure. So I mean, there's a ton of them, but so one of the ones, how about I'll tell you about one of the new ones, one of the ones that's coming out that no one's seen yet. So in, what's it going to be? It's June 3rd, I think it launches, and it's, I don't know, we haven't come up with a name with it yet. Maybe the video watchers can help us. You can help us come up with a name for it. So we call it, internally we call it the trifecta tool. So it is page strength, which has been probably our most popular tool, right? Which gets a bunch of factors about your website from the search engines, from Yahoo, from Google, from Alexa, all these places, and then comes up with kind of a score of how important do we think you are. And we took that one step further and said, page analysis is fine, but for a lot of times we need to analyze a whole domain, and other times there's blogs, right? And we specifically want to break out blogs. So we have page strength, blog strength, and domain strength. Thus we call it trifecta, right? And so that is launching April 3rd. I mean, we have a ton of tools in there, but I think this one is going to be huge. It's going to be very, very popular. Awesome.
Okay, we're looking forward to seeing that being launched. A question from one of our analysts, Tim, in our US office. He wanted to know, can you actually add more than one site to the Pro Analytics tool?
You can't right now, but you'll be able to add 5 sites in total. So your site, plus 4 top competitors, starting May, I think it's May 20th, May 25th, something like that. So it's something, we launched it in kind of this preview beta mode, knowing that that's what folks would want. And yeah, I mean, it'll be great to be able to see, and we already have internally some stuff where you can see 4 sites at a different time, and you can see, oh, well, search engine land is going up, but SEOmoz is going down, and oh, we have to catch up to that Danny bastard, yeah.
Great. Okay, so what do you think are some of the greatest challenges in search for Australia and New Zealand? And I appreciate you've only been here for 5 minutes, but but what are your observations so far?
I think I have a really good friend who's based here in Australia, and he spent a week with us at SEOmoz, Lucas Ng from Fairfax Digital. I think he's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant about SEO stuff. And he commented that Australia and New Zealand are always about a year behind the US in terms of technology, everything from Ajax to social media marketing to Twitter, to Dig or whatever it is. They're always kind of a little bit behind. And so I think it can be tough to come to some of these presentations and to hear these tactics described and then say to yourself, okay, we're not quite there yet, but this does give us an opportunity to be on the cutting edge. Obviously, some of the other things are, it's really tough to network from Australia. In-person networking is extremely hard because it's so far to fly to, London or to Los Angeles or San Francisco or New York. I mean, these are just far, far away destinations. And so I think that there's a lot of opportunity, therefore, in the power of social networking. I mean, I'd never met Kalina Jordan until I came here, but she was a huge name for me. And the same is true of Barry Smith and, a lot of the other folks who are here. I knew them through the social profiles and media that they've contributed to and participated online. So I think that recognizing that challenge and also that opportunity.
Great. So for those particular people, they would want to have an international profile to network with people like yourself and others in the industry in the States. So for businesses in Australia and New Zealand, where they primarily want Australian and New Zealand business in traffic, if they were to participate in social media sites in the US, does that really provide a lot of benefit to them?
So probably not quite as great as the other side. However, that being said, if you participate in those sites, you can probably earn links that none of your competition will have, right? And you can earn this branding outside of what your competitors can get. And that will help you, right? So all of those links will help you to rank well for queries even here in Australia, right? You'll earn that trust and the authoritative domain status and all these kinds of things. And then when your competitors are, struggling, they might say, oh man, how did they get those links? How can I get those links? And that's a pretty powerful thing.
Okay, so if you are generating global links, does that really benefit your site? I mean, surely regional links will be better than a global link.
So not necessarily, not entirely. I think there's definitely, there's something to this idea that authoritative domains gather links from all different countries, all different languages, and recognizing that is going to be really important and saying, certainly, SEOmoz is a good example. Once we started getting links from Germany, from the UK, from Canada, from Australia, from Singapore, from China, and we look at all these different markets and said, oh my gosh, this is really establishing us as an authority on the web on this subject, and it means that our rankings are going to increase in the US as well as overseas. So I wouldn't say that, yes, if you want to, let's say you want to target Singapore, getting links in Singapore, absolutely, very important. But if you're working, here in Australia, you've got an Australian domain, you have lots of Australian links already, now you're trying to expand your link profile, going international can be a great, great help.
Excellent. So we've been speaking with a range of PR consultants recently, and they're just starting to learn about social media and PR online, which is great. And one of the questions they ask is, well, how do you actually value a link? Because they're so used to when they get a mention in a newspaper article, they can put a dollar value on that. So how do you actually value a link? I mean, is that possible?
Not right now. At least not from the perspective of this helped me this much to get the rankings that I want. I think you can do it arbitrarily, and you can do it a little bit. You can kind of say, hey, we threw out this piece of content, it got this many links, it's earned us this much traffic, and refers to that page sent us this many conversions. So you might be able to puzzle out something, but chances are it's going to be a lowball. I think that lowball number is probably an okay thing to use, but yeah, it's a very, very tough thing to do because you don't know whether that link is going to be, oh, hey, that increased my trust rank, that increased my page rank this much. You have no idea how much exactly. I think that eventually there will be tools that will help us to analyze those.
Great. Well, that's all the questions I have for today. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your time in Australia and also New Zealand when you go there next week. So thank you.
Thanks, Jacqui. It's been terrific.